Hello my friends. Day theme is how to come up with good conversation. Getting to know other people is a typical activity in our daily lives. Even if you're good with people, there are likely to be times when you're stuck for something more to say and start wondering what topic to bring up next. Having a mental list of ideas for conversation topics ready prepared means you need never panic as to what to say next. All you need to do is draw from one of them and continue with your chat. Part 1. Basic Conversation Starters. 1. Talk about the other person. The biggest secret to being a good conversationalist is simply allowing other people to talk about themselves. Why? It's a subject they probably know well and feel comfortable with. Try these tactics. Ask for his or her opinion. You could tie it to what's currently happening in the room, current events, whatever you want to discuss. Inquire about the life story topics, such as where that person is from, how they grew up, and so on. 2. Have a few different starters for people you do know as well as for strangers. A lot of the previous steps focus on getting to know someone you don't yet. Here are some openers for 2 other types of people you'll converse with. People you know well, ask them how they are, whether anything interesting has happened this past week, how their project or study is coming along, how their children are, and whether they've seen any good TV shows or movies lately. People you know but haven't seen for a while, ask them what has happened in their life since you last saw them. Find out if they're still working in the same job and living in the same area. Ask about their children and whether they've had more, if relevant, and perhaps ask if they've seen a mutual friend lately. 3. Know what to avoid. You know the old rule, never talk about religion, politics, money, relationships, family problems, health problems, or sex with people you don't know incredibly well. The risk of saying something offensive is too high, so just stay clear. 4. Find out about their interests and hobbies. This is where it starts to get more personal. It's up to you to carry the conversation beyond these questions in an appropriate way. Do you play or follow any sports? Do you like to hang out online? What do you like to read? What do you do in your spare time? What kind of music do you like? What kinds of movies do you like to watch? What are your favorite TV shows? What's your favorite board game or card game? Do you like animals? What's your favorite animal? 5. Bring up family. Your safest bet here is siblings and general background information, such as where they grew up. Parents can be a touchy subject for people who had troubled upbringings, have estranged parents, or whose parents have recently passed away. The topic of children can be uncomfortable for couples who are having fertility issues or disagreements about whether to have children, or for a person who wants to have kids but hasn't found the right person or situation. Do you have any siblings? How many? What are their names? How old are they? What do your siblings do? Modify the question based on how old they are. Do they go to school/college or have a job? Do you look alike? Do you all have similar personalities? Where did you grow up? 6. Ask about their travels. Ask the person where they've been. Even if they have never left their hometown, they will likely be happy to talk about where they would want to go. If you had a chance to move to any other country, which one would it be and why? Of all the cities in the world you've visited, which one was your favorite? Where did you go on your last vacation? How did you like it? What was the best/worst vacation or trip you've ever been on? 7. Inquire about food and drink. Food is a little better to talk about because there's always the chance of bumping into someone who has had issues with alcohol abuse or doesn't drink. Be careful that the conversation doesn't stray into someone going on about their diet or how they're trying to lose weight. That can take the conversation in a negative direction. Ask, if you could only have one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? Where do you like to go when you eat out? Do you like to cook? What's your favorite kind of candy? What's the worst restaurant experience you've ever had? 8. Ask about work. This one can be a little tricky because the conversation could end up sounding like a job interview. Still, if you can handle it carefully and keep it short and sweet, it can lead to an interesting discussion. And don't forget that the person may be studying, retired, or between jobs. Here are some suggested starters. What do you do for a living? Where do you work or study? What was your first job ever? Who was your favorite boss in the past? When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? What do you like best about your job? If money was no object but you still had to work, what would be your dream job? If you discover they are not currently employed but you think you have a link that could help them, don't be afraid to bring it up. They'll most likely be very interested. 9. Find out what brings them to where you both are now. If you've never met them before, there are plenty of unknowns to explore just by the fact that you're both at an event because of some reason. Ask such questions as, so, how do you know the host? How did you get involved in this event? In fundraising? In triathlons? And so forth. How do you find the time to be involved in events like this? 10. Offer a genuine compliment. Try to make it a compliment that involves something they did rather than something they are. This will allow you to carry the conversation forward by asking them about that skill. If you tell someone they have beautiful eyes, they will thank you and the conversation will likely end there, unless you're clever enough to ask them what they do to enhance them. Here are some good lines to use. I love your piano performance. How long have you been playing for? You seemed really confident during your speech. How did you learn to put together such great presentations? Your run was absolutely amazing. How often do you train each week? We wish you luck. Do not forget to watch the second video on extending the conversation.